In this lesson, we are going to work through step 2 of the advanced part. Looking at the part, we have 3 new features. We have an extruded cut feature here, a second one here, and a third extrude cut feature shown here. Let's take a look at the next screen for more information. First, we'll read through the directions. All of this information is the same. Then it tells us to use the part created in the previous question, that would be step 1, and modify it by removing the material in the indicated areas. Note 1 says assume all unshown dimensions are the same as in the previous question, and all dimensions for the new features are going to be shown in these 3 views. Note 2 says parameter C, that would be dimension C. Parameter C shown in right-hand side view and top view for reference only. The C value remains the same as in the previous question. So let's take a look at the first extruded cut feature. It's located 30 millimeters from the right edge, it's 15 millimeters wide, and it's 10 deep. The second cut extrude feature, you'll see it's centered on the part in this direction here. And that's why we have the C and the C divided by 2 dimension. We have a 20 dimension. The extrude cut feature is 40 wide and 5 deep. Our third feature is also centered. Again, that's why we have these 2 dimensions. It's located 10 off the center line, and the extruded feature is a size of 20. But when you look at the front view, you see that extruded feature has a radial element to it. We have a radius of 90, and notice how the radius is located by the endpoint. We have a 75 dimension and 50 dimension. So let's begin with the easy feature first. We'll begin with this one. After we complete this, we'll move on to this one, and finally the third one. So let's go to the SolidWorks screen and add the first feature. Now I could modify the existing sketch that I created for this extruded feature, or I could simply go to my front plane and add a center point rectangle and extrude cut it through all on both sides of the plane. And that's the approach I'll take. So I'm going to start a new sketch, select the front plane, and then zoom in on this area. I am going to tap the S key, use a center point rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and place that rectangle. And if you recall, we had a dimension from the right edge of the extruded cut feature over to the right edge of the part at a distance of 30. And this cutout is 15 wide. And we were also given a dimension from this top surface to the bottom of the cutout of 10 millimeters. Now let's go to the extrude cut feature. And we want to set the end condition to through all, both. Select the green check mark, and that first feature is completed. Let's begin the second feature. I'm going to take a shortcut this time. I am going to tap the S key. I'll select the extrude cut feature right from this menu. I will select this face to sketch on. Once again, I am going to use a center point rectangle. However, this one, I want to make sure I snap to the midpoint of this line because this rectangle is centered on the part left to right. This dimension here is 40, and we have a depth of 5 millimeters. That's from this top surface down to the bottom of the slotted feature. That completes our sketch. It's fully defined. And now let's rotate the part so we can see what's taking place here. And I can either extrude cut this through all, or I can do it up to surface. So if I select up to surface, I can select this radial element. And there is our second feature. Let's add the third feature. That would be this radial cut feature we see here. I am going to begin a new extruded cut feature. I am going to select the front plane. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this area. I am going to start by creating a 3-point arc. I'm going to select this point first, this point second, and my third point. I'll apply my 3 dimensions, radius 90. This dimension here was 75, and this dimension is 50. Next, I am going to convert entities to bring this line work into this current sketch. So I'm going to grab these lines here, along with the circle, convert them, and then go to my trim entities and do a power trim and trim this line away and this line. And now I am ready to do the extrude cut feature. Now this one, if we go back and look at the drawing, it's a depth of 20, 10 off the center line. So knowing that, I want to extrude cut this about a midplane for a value of 20 millimeters. Let's go ahead and fit the part to the screen. The part's completed per step number 2. We'll check our mass properties. We have a mass of 1929.12. Let's go back to the drawing screen. And we see we match with the same mass, 1929.12. So we did good in this step. Now let's move on to step 3.